Hey, so 7 months on testosterone, about 2 months on injections. As you can hopefully hear, my voice is dropping. It's been dropping progressively since injections. About last week, I finally sent off my name change papers in the mail, so I got about 6 weeks until I know whether they've been approved or not. Because a friend of mine, she'd been sending hers and they kept sending it back. And it's just making me super nervous. I told my mom that I did that because I did that last week, and she was angry, very, very upset about that. It was pretty bad. Well, I mean, like emotionally for me, like I'm like it sounds really bad. Like I'm used to it, so I didn't expect her to have a good reaction to it. I wanted her to know just out of I just felt that she should know that this was happening. Partly, she's updated on my life or whatever. I live with her, whatever. But also because so she can stop using like my birth name as like an argument thing when I tell her that other like nobody outside of the family calls me by my birth name. And like when I like at work on my name tag or whatever it says Alex or whatever, and anytime she hears somebody call me Alex or Cyril now, she's like, well, do they know what your legal name is? Like, do they know what your birth name is? And all this, you know, awfulness. But now, like, well, my birth name will be Cyril, so, yeah, that's gonna be my legal name. She's just like basically going on and on about how I'm gross and crazy and, I need help or something. Anyway, so that was a thing. And then I told my dad about it, and he said he wanted to be happy for me because he knows that it's a happy thing for me, but he's still holding out hope that I'm going to change my mind about this whole thing. And I am not actually going to be trans. So there's that, but it was weird because I told him, okay, so I sent off my name change papers, and he's like, what? You're changing your name from what to what? And I'm like, I have told him many a time my name when, it was Alex, and then I also told him when I was deciding to go by Cyril. And I don't know why he always seems to think that these are things that are like way off in the future. Like when I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna go by Cyril now. I think he was thinking, oh, sometime in the future I'm gonna start going by Cyril. And when I was saying, oh, I go by Alex, and he's like, oh, sometime in the future you're gonna do this. He wasn't like caught off like angry about it. He was just like, what? You're changing your name? And I'm like, obviously. I don't know. We got over it, and he was like, okay, so I guess this is happening. And I'm like, yeah, this is happening. So he knows, and I'm planning to see him this weekend. I don't know when I'm going to be uploading this, but I'm planning on seeing him this weekend, and we're going to have a chat and stuff. And I haven't seen him in like 2 months, and my voice is changing and stuff. Emotionally, I feel about the same as like when I was just on androgel, like no drastic emotional changes. Oh my goodness, don't fall. Yeah, so that's about the same, which I'm happy about. I had sort of been working out a little bit. Not really. It's just like I have midnight shifts at work, and it's like maintenance for like 7 hours. So I'm doing a lot of not like heavy lifting, but like a lot of repetitive motion, sort of lifting a little bit of stuff. Um, and mute. So, I don't know. I was like, well, I'm already kind of sort of getting a workout, so maybe I should try to work out a little bit. It's just like literally 8-pound weights that I have in my room, and that's what I use to exercise with a little bit. I know it's not really much, but I don't go to a gym, and I probably won't be going to a gym anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean like in the next year or so. I don't expect to go to a gym. What else? Like school, like I'm like retaking courses, so I'm with like a different group of kids. Last week, one of them who I started sort of befriending a little, was like, hey, because like he Facebook friended me or whatever, and he's like, hey, your name is Cyril on Facebook, but you go by Alex? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trans, and I started going by Cyril recently, and I'm like, all the teachers here, because like the classes I'm taking is with like the same teachers, and I'm like, they already know me as Alex, and Alex is gonna be my middle name, so it's not really a big deal. And he's like, oh, okay, so all right, cool. So I guess I'll call you Cyril then. I was like, okay, cool. And then like the group of kids like he sits with, are like, all right. And then I was saying bye, and they're like, oh, bye, Cyril. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So that's a thing. I mean, like coming out of school won't be like, I don't think it'll be like a really big issue. I was like nervous about it before, but now I'm kind of like, because even though I'm like befriending like a couple people, I'm not actually like friends with anyone in the class. I don't really talk to anybody really. So I mostly just go to school and get my work done and come home and then go to work and whatever. When I get my like ID, like nobody's like, I don't think the teacher's like roster is really gonna change. Plus, after the first couple months, like I only have one new teacher and he knows everyone's name now, so he doesn't look at the attendance sheet anymore. So I mean, I'll just go to the school, get a new student card. The thing about work is because like I had to give them my social insurance card when I get my new ID, I have to change that, so I have to go to them and tell them, oh yeah, my social insurance card is different, and my bank information, it will be different because the name. So that'll be a thing, but they'll probably be fine about it. I feel maybe. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to ask them to call me Cyril just because they already call me Alex. But I sort of feel like it might be easier on them. Oh, why is everybody... Anyway, I feel like it might be easier on them for them to call me Cyril just because there's another Alex there, and sometimes we're scheduled at the same time, and there's also a girl named Alice, and once all three of us were scheduled, and our boss was like, Alex, and then like the two Alexes, we turn, they're like, yeah, and then they're like, no, not you Alex, and then sometimes they say Alice, and we'd all turn because it sounds like Alex, and she was like, I hate this, why do all your names? So anyway, if I went by Cyril, she wouldn't have that problem. And then like another boss like had a scheduling issue because she thought I was scheduled for one day, but I was like, in my availability, I can't work that day. So how am I scheduled? And she's like, I don't know. I'm trying to help you. And then I'm like, is it Alex C or Alex J? And then she looked and she's like, oh, you're fine. So I'm like, I feel like it would help them more to go by Cyril for me, because then they wouldn't have to worry about scheduling mistakes and calling, like, getting confused as to which Alex they're talking about. But it's neither here nor there. I'm just excited because, like, my voice is getting a little deeper, and, like, it comes and goes because, like, at work, you got your customer service voice, which is usually a lot more pleasant. Yeah, so I mean, in the morning it's higher, and then, it gradually gets, lower. I don't know, it changes, it varies between, if I've been talking a lot, it gets higher. After a long period of not talking, it gets lower. So it all depends on how much I'm talking, which is why at work it's usually a lot higher. So Like, the voice drop isn't as noticeable, I feel, maybe. So that's my work and school and home stuff and my life stuff. I've been sort of shaving my face a little bit. It's not that I have like hair, just because, if you shave it, it comes in more or something. And I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I probably should have like looked up videos or like asked my dad or something about it. But like, I shave this, and then by the next day it's all like prickly again. So I mean, that must mean something. But at work, like, there's no chin hair, beards, anything allowed anyway. You're just allowed to have like mustaches. So this stuff will just keep getting shaved, even though it's not really anything noticeable. Like, you can feel stubble, but you can't really see anything. Same with this. So I'm looking forward to if I like sort of grow more of a mustache. Yeah, so that's about it for me. I think when I have free time again, I might do the gender tag. I don't know what else to talk about. 7 months. I still feel like my 7 months is now like kind of like my 3 months, because I just started injections. Wait, was it 2 months? I started in September. Like, it's technically my 2 months on T. Sort of. I don't know, because of injections. Yeah. So I'm gonna go, and then at some point next week, this week, I don't know, I will do the gender tag thing, just, out of making videos or whatever. Bye!